Hi everybody, thank you for coming this evening. I'm Diana, I'm going to be your host tonight. We are going to have a presentation about how to invest in DPoS cryptocurrencies, hosted by CryptoGirls. Let me give you a short intro about CryptoGirls. We are a team that is community driven. We plan to invest in education projects about crypto coins, blockchain, and give access to all the community about this, new technologies. We are planning to do some e-apps on this technology. We are a team of 5. Irina here, the founder of CryptoGirls, myself, front-end developer, Alina, which is our marketing and social media specialist. We are the core team. Adrian here is our investor and advisor, and Liviu there, our partner on social events and events. Okay, I'm going to give you a short intro on Irina. She has 6+ years on backend development, especially database programming. She has experience in cryptocurrencies as an investor and delegate. She has a team of delegates holding at this moment and over 20 servers on blockchain technology. I'm going to invite Irina to start the presentation on how to invest on DPoS cryptocurrencies. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Irina. Thank you for your participation on our first event as CryptoGirls. I will start my speech with Satoshi Nakamoto, who was a man or a group of men or maybe a girl, we don't know that. But what we all definitely know is that Satoshi Nakamoto invented blockchain. I'm sure all of you have heard about blockchain before, but how many of you have heard about proof of work, for example? Okay, almost all. About proof of stake. Okay, we will speak about these concepts, and the main subject today is to understand what is delegated proof of stake technology. So these concepts are consensus mechanisms on blockchain. But what is consensus? Consensus means a general agreement. So basically servers within the blockchain network has to comply to a set of rules in order to ensure stability and securing the network. So let's explain a little proof of work. Proof of work has miners that produce blocks and get rewarded for that. But you have to set up a server or many servers and be the first that solve a very complex algorithm in order to be the one that produces that block and get rewarded. In proof of stake, miners are replaced by validators. So the stakeholders in a proof of stake technology have to have that coin, and through a special transaction they freeze their coins and get rewarded for that on the next block based on their stake on the total amount of that coin. Delegated proof of stake is kind of proof of stake technology, but instead of validating themselves in blocks, the stakeholders delegate other people to do this for them by voting them in. DPoS is maintained by delegates in the network that have servers called nodes, and they forge blocks and get rewarded for this. So who can be a delegate in a DPoS blockchain? People chosen by the community. So stakeholders can vote for delegates in order to ensure that their forging spot, and in return some delegates share a part of their rewards to their voters. So DPoS is a friendly environment consensus mechanism because it costs almost zero energy and very low hardware. It's pretty easy for newcomers to enter in a DPoS blockchain as delegates or voters or developers to participate together to the stability of the network and to secure the network. So let's take an example, this image. Let's say those 5 blue points that are forging nodes. So those 5 are delegates in a blockchain and produce blocks and get rewarded for that. Those white are standby nodes set up by other people that want to get into top 5 and produce blocks in the network. So voters can vote for one standby delegate and get him in the top 5 nodes. As a case study for DPoS technology, we chose today to present TRON project. TRON is founded by TRON Foundation, a Singapore-based non-profit organization, and it aims to be a decentralized entertainment content sharing platform using blockchain and peer-to-peer network, and to use DPoS technology. TRON Network will support decentralized apps that are not controlled by a single entity, and the entire network help to save their databases on the data applications. Okay. TRON started on April program to help the developers to develop useful tools and apps on their blockchain through TRON Accelerator and TRON Programming Contest with a total funds of $2 billion. So if you are a good and passionate developer, you can bring your contribution here and win some big prizes. So how TRON launched? TRON launched on September 2017 with their official cryptocurrency TRONix, which is an ERC20 token based on Ethereum blockchain. The ICO price was 0.19 cents, and they achieved their fundraising goal of $70 million. So now TRONix is in top 10 global cryptocurrencies due to their market cap of almost about $4 billion and the price of 4.8 cents. Beginning June 26, they will launch their own DPoS blockchain. There will be 27 forging nodes, delegates, or servers that will participate to producing blocks on the TRON network. And the reward will be 32 TRX per block for each block forged. And will be no fees. So if you will have some TRX and you want to vote for someone or transfer to another one some TRX, you will pay no fee. So in almost 1 year, TRX reached the top 10 global cryptocurrencies and will support, in comparison with other coins, will support up to 2,000 transactions per second. So for platforms with multiple users, many users, it will be right network to develop on. From this moment to 26 June, They are in a migration phase from Ethereum blockchain to their own DPoS blockchain, and this is the list with the exchanges that will support this migration. So if you have any TRX right now in your wallet, in order not to lose them, you have to transfer them to one of these exchanges, and the migration will happen automatically. So starting 26 June, all the transactions, all the blocks produced, all the delegates and nodes standby and active will be seen here in their Explorer. What's very interesting here is that their Explorer wasn't developed by TRON's team, but by a developer from the community, Rova from Netherlands, who developed it with his own budget, and he won the first prize through the TRON Project Genesis program, almost $300,000. So it's an opportunity for developers to get involved into the project because they can win some coins. His Explorer have a web wallet integrated where accounts can be managed. You can send TRX, you can vote for delegates, or even you can apply for being a delegate in the network. Another decentralized app that is already developed is the Android wallet, and there are many other wallets, desktop-based, etc. This Android wallet is developed by another guy from Germany that he won the second prize of almost $200,000. Okay, and my question here is, how many of you have a crypto wallet? I think. Okay, so I will cover next steps quickly for those who don't have a wallet. So you simply apply to create the wallet, set up a complex password, and don't forget it because it's no one that will reset your password never. So if you lose your password, you will be not able to access your account anymore, and you will lose your coins. The second step is to save your private key. Password and private key are the things you need to know when you enter into your account. The key store file too, but this time the same. Key store file and private key file. And you will be able to manage your account directly from the Explorer. This is an example of creating a wallet from their Explorer. What's very important here is to save your private key in different locations, on USBs or laptop, or even on a piece of paper, and be sure you don't lose it or you don't forget it. Okay, how many of you have traded the cryptocurrency before? Okay, so to trade the cryptocurrency, you can access CoinMarketCap and the markets that the coin are listed on, and make there an account. I recommend the two-factor authentication for more security because exchanges are vulnerable to potential attacks, and I recommend to not hold for a very big period of time your coins on the exchanges because they are compromised. So the private wallets are safer. The first step after you created an account on the exchange, you pick the right market. Yeah, example Bitcoin TRX, and you sell or buy the coin, set up a price in Bitcoin, and you will be able to transfer your coin just bought to your private wallet through a unique address that your private wallet have. So this is the withdrawal from the exchange to the private wallet. Okay, to help you, in order to help you to skip these steps of buying TRX, we'll give away today an amount of TRX to each of you. We invite you after our presentation to Adrian. I don't see Adrian. Okay, to get your TRX. So how?
Because if you don't have yet, what's wrong?
What?
Maybe we don't have wallet.
Yes, we will create a wallet, and we will give you the private key that unlocks that wallet.
Okay.
With TRX in there.
Which you asked you.
Okay, so how can you use your TRX? Of course, you can hold you can hold your coins for a period of time in order to wait for the price to rise and eventually sell it to buy another coin or something. But what's new in DPoS is that you can vote for delegates with your coins. Why would you vote for delegates? Some delegates are sharing an amount of a percentage of their rewards to their voters. So if you want to hold that coin, you can multiply your investment by voting that delegates in the network and directly participate in the network and choose the right ones that represent you. So there are 45 candidates on TRON project that announced their participation in the election. The first election will be on 26 June when they launched their own blockchain. Some of you are sharing pools, some of them are sharing pools, some of them no, because they have big communities and have that support already. Okay. How can you vote for a delegate? You access the Explorer. You can freeze your coins. So one TRX will be one TRON power. You can vote only with TRON power. And you freeze them for 3 days. If you freeze that coins, you agree that you will use that amount of coin only for voting delegates for 3 days. So you won't be able to sell them or trade them in those 3 days. So you transform the TRX in TRON power, find the right delegate or more delegates, and submit votes. You can vote for more than one delegate, but of course you have to split your amount. So let's take an example. You want to vote for 2 delegates and you have 100 TRX in your wallet. You can split them in 40 and 60 or something like that and vote for 2 in the same time. How the voting process works? If you vote for a delegate now, it's very possible that you will not see that vote immediately on the network, because on TRON network the voting round lasts for 6 hours. Sorry. Okay. And this avoids vote hopping. What is vote hopping? Vote hopping means that one voter can vote for a delegate, get rewards from him, and after 10 minutes, let's say, he will vote for another delegate and he will get rewarded too from him and so on. And it's not that fair that a voter could make vote hopping from delegates to delegates. So this 6-hour round of voting ensure more stability and more good functioning in the voting process.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah.
What happens if, let's say, you vote for someone,
Yeah.
but for some reason they are not getting elected? Actually,
You don't
receive anything.
You don't receive anything, it's right. Yeah, those delegates you voted for have to be in voting position in order to get reward back as a voter. But you can unvote him and vote for another after 6 hours. So if you have TRON power and you voted for someone and he doesn't pay, as he said, you can unvote him with no fees and vote for another that present more trust and has paid before. So.
Sounds like mafia. And how often does the voting run? You vote today or today or tomorrow?
No. Once you submitted vote, yeah, let's say with 100 TRX, the vote lasts until you unvote him by pressing the button unvote. So it's you don't.
You vote once and then.
Yeah, it's forever. It's temporarily until you manually unvote that delegate.
Later you can commit more TRON power to another.
Yeah, you can vote for multiple delegates with the same amount of TRX or different amount of TRX. You choose with what amount.
So is the TRON network live at this moment, or if
Starting to this month, 26 June.
So
they
before
will-
26
they will
June you
be
cannot vote, or you
live.
vote in a different way?
Before 26 June, they are in a migration phase. So their mainnet blockchain has launched on 31st of May, but is in a testing phase. So the delegates are producing blocks, are voted by the team in order to test the network until 26 June, when the blockchain will be resetted, no address will be created, all the blockchain will be resetted, and the Genesis block will produce that on 26 June.
So if you now have the ERC tokens,
You cannot vote with
you
ERC.
cannot vote with.
No,
But
because
on the 26th, so how they will transfer the ERC tokens to the
this
network,
is
and how you will be able to vote before they actually start because that's the whole point, no? To vote
Yeah.
before the network starts.
from 21st June to 26th June, the migration from Ethereum blockchain to TRON blockchain will be automatically done by the exchanges. So if
But if you have a wallet that it's on paper, if I have
you mean for
If I
TRX
have-
bounty that we
Yeah,
said that we
not
give you?
not the TRX that's linked to the no. If I have a ledger wallet, yeah, which is a
Yeah.
hardware, so it's not on an exchange, so they
Yeah.
will not automatically.
No, they
You
will
will
not
lose your money.
automatically. You won't lose your money because the team said that they will support manual migration. If you
But did they-
give
did they
them an
actually-
email, or I don't know if they actually will give you the new coin, but to be sure, I recommend to transfer them to exchanges because that will be the real migration.
If you know, the EOS did the same kind of thing
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
31st, and they have a big problem with exactly this thing. Their contract has a way to register your key on their native blockchain, but the contract is totally I don't know, it doesn't work. So
Hopefully
that's why.
it will work.
They're
Maybe
Chinese,
they
so
know.
hopefully it will
Yeah.
work.
Excuse me, I have another question. So basically, once we stake you, the TRON funds will be frozen in the wallet
Yeah.
as long as we choose to, unless we go and, let's say, unvote humanity.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can see how much TRON will get as reward from those that we elect? I don't know, is there...
Right
way?
now, I'm not sure if there are tools developed, but from my experience in other projects as DPoS delegate, the community developed tools to predict or to calculate your rewards as a voter from each of the delegates. So there are many possibilities to calculate the reward that you will get as voter of a delegate.
Don't get me wrong, it's not about calculating the possible rewards that I get. I simply want to ensure that I am paid correctly and that it's fair. For example, if I stake someone and if, let's say, I don't know, I put a specific number and let's say I want to be sure that for the specific numbers that I put in, I receive the exact amount that they would actually
Yeah,
pay, not less, not...
There are delegates that have their own page of detailed payments, payments details, that show to the voters what is the percentage of their stake in the total of voters and what he actually paid. If not, if the delegate by itself want to have a site like this, for sure will be developers that will do that for all the delegates. So I'm sure that will be developed tools for this to help the voters.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Okay, so we spoke about how to go to delegate, but how to become a delegate. To become a delegate in TRON network, you have to go to 4 steps. So the first step is the register as delegate, also on TRON Official Explorer. The second is to make your proposal, to speak about you, about your background, your team, if you are in a team, if you are running by, as a team. Have to set up a server, a main server, and it's recommended to set up multiple nodes in different locations in the world in order to help the main node to be 100% up and to not miss the blocks when it's a block. And the 4th step is to stay involved, to grow the community, to make events, to make tutorials for newcomers, or even for those that are involved already, or to develop decentralized apps or tools like you mentioned in order to help the network to function and be stable. So, if you have any other questions,
I have one. Go back to the previous slide.
back.
And tell us
How many coins we need?
how much did you pay? Oh, yeah, it's pretty. It's also the same question. How much does it cost in order to be to
be a delegate.
To be a delegate, or to be eligible to become a delegate?
What's the
Okay.
maintenance of the servers?
Yes and no, but as I understood, you need to pay a fee in order
Yes,
to.
but you pay a fee from the coin you forge. This is what I understand.
Yeah, you have to pay. I'm not sure of the amount, but I think it's 10,000 TRX
Okay.
to register.
To register.
What?
It's a one-time fee?
Yes, it's a one-time fee in order to be able to register as delegate in the network, and this will not ensure you that you will be in forging. So it's an investment, it's an initial investment that each delegate can
Who takes the 10,000 theories?
What?
Who takes the 10,000 theories?
I'm not sure. I think
Foundation
yeah,
maybe.
the
They want to pay.
foundation. Probably. Yeah.
Someone's wallet, that's for sure.
Yes.
Tell them about the
Yes.
servers. Server cost. There was a
Server
question about
cost.
servers cost.
Okay. So the server cost, the recommendation of the team to maintain a server is about $1,500. How much is that?
Yep.
Okay. Per month.
It's a very
To maintain
powerful server.
one single node and one single server, but it's recommended to set up backup nodes and
But what kind of server are those 1,500?
Very big
yeah.
servers, yeah, to
Uh,
ensure.
yeah.
How big?
how big? 128 cores, 1 terabyte of
RAM?
RAM,
Yeah.
something like that. Because they want on their network to be developed platforms with a big amount of users and the transactions to happen very fast. And they want to address to mass adoption platforms. So the recommendation for the servers are pretty high. I don't know if it's a real need for these servers to be enforced, but we will see after 26 June.
Obviously, there are people that got involved, so they are willing to help the money.
Okay, you got the test node up.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the usage?
The usage.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to say now in the test phase the usage because there are not many transactions per block. So we have a small server for testable node. We have 8 cores and I think 8 giga RAMs. And the usage is 15%, I think. So for the test phase, it's not required super server.
When it will go live, what will happen? Will it spike in intensity in terms of transactions because you are going to host the TRON virtual machine?
I didn't understand.
Once the main network will go live,
Yeah.
what will happen? Will the server
Become the server.
or the resource usage will go up in terms of compute because you are running the TRON virtual machine, or will it be intensive on this subsystem because you will have a lot of transactions? You, at the beginning of the presentation, you said that TRON network is going to support 2,000 transactions per second.
Yeah.
So in comparison with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So actually we would expect that for some reason it needs to be a fast server.
Yeah.
How, or what is your assumption that will happen once the testnet will go live? Let's say with the 27 delegates, will it, I don't know, be fully utilized, or will it be utilized in a gradual way where the usage will go up gradually?
Now I think on 26 June, all of delegates have to set the super servers to be prepared for that moment, because I think it's probably to be some stressful tests 1 day or 2 before the mainnet launch, and I think we all of the delegates have to be prepared for that. I think will be a very how to say,
Spike
increase
in
of,
transactions, yeah.
of transactions.
Spike transactions.
Yeah.
If only the delegates are allowed to mint coins and the delegates are only 27 or a low number like this, what prevents the delegates to perform like a 31% attack or attacks on the network that would require consensus between them? Because the whole distributed ledger thing works because it's very hard to gain a percentage. They could possibly create the delegates between themselves, create a separate chain and forge transactions, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's possible. In my opinion, 27 is a
No.
big enough for being decentralized, but it's not that big. There are some situation when security updates are needed to be done by the delegates. So if our 27 delegates, I think the team can achieve to all of them in order to secure the network when the network is compromised. As well, it's possible that one voter that owns, I don't know, 30% of the TRX to control 51% of the nodes and to compromise the network, but the TRX the TRX price will decrease, and I don't think it's in their own good to do that. So
You think that's
yes, and eventually have.
And it will be very costly to make such an attack because you have to buy a big amount of TRX, to make that attack.
Bribe other members to vote.
Or talk to lots of people around the world to.
What's the collusion threshold? So it's 51%, like in.
Yeah, it's 51%.
Because other DPoS they have something like 66%.
I think I'm not so sure that it's 51%, but I can ask the team because they have Slack, emails,
And this election, this whatever representative election, for how long is it valid? So what's the interval between two elections? So or is it a continuously?
The first election will be on 26th June, and the voters will be able to choose their delegate or super representative. After 26th June, everyone can vote anytime. So it's not the need
And
to
each
be
node,
an
each
election.
node, after each block, there can be a shift in the delegates?
Each 6 hours. If
So
you
the
vote,
epoch, it's 6 hours.
Yeah,
they
6
have
hours
this-
is the voting round.
The
And
voting
you-
round, but the period at which you can vote. But I'm wondering if the change is somehow announced in advance, the change in delegates, or it happens,
It will happen after 6 hours, and in the Explorer is also a live ranking, and you can see how the delegates change their positions by live voting. But the effect of the vote is.
And is there any requirement on the delegates to have a specific uptime, or so? Because if it's only or it's simply again kind of incentive-based uptime, meaning that if you're not up, then you don't get whatever.
No, it's not.
There is no.
It's no. If the delegate don't manage his node, he eventually will get out of the 27 by the voters themselves, because community has word to say here.
Yeah, but if all the delegates will choose AWS, and then AWS has a problem, and then
Yeah,
there are
it's-
only 2 delegates left.
Yeah, this is why most of the delegates say that they will support servers
Backup servers.
locally, maintained by themselves and not to only AWS. So, yeah. Any other questions for me today? Okay. I will invite Diana to make some ending notes, and don't forget to get your TRX from us. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana again. Thank you for being here. As a newcomers in making events and as CryptoGirls, let me tell you about what's next for us and what's next for the community. We had an idea here of developing some application apps, like managing to see how is your return on investment when voting for a delegate. We are planning to do as a community games on this technology, content sharing platforms, or even crowdfunding platform. We are planning to do this open source, so each one of us or you as developers can contribute. As a community event, we're going to do meetups. This meetup was starting an intro about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, but we're planning on the future to do some DPoS workshops and blockchain workshops. This is our site. We are live on each social media, and you can contribute on our GitHub. So thank you. Yes.
I'm sorry, I have a question. What partnerships?
Partnership. What kind of partnership?
I don't know. Do you have any partnership with others? Or are you going to go as a representative on your own?
We are planning to be representatives, or yeah, sure, partners are involved. We have our marketing person dealing with partnerships. I'm just a developer. If you are interested, I can put you in contact. If you give me more details about partnerships, so do you have something in mind specific?
Yes, I have something in mind. As guys or teams in the competition.
Okay.
Community node and community node and lead and free node have partnered in order to be able to support a bigger community in the United States, I believe.
Okay, nice.
And it might be also a good idea for you to, I don't know, partner with someone in order to get a broader audience and a broader reach towards.
Oh, okay, I understand. This is a good idea. From my knowledge, I don't think in Romania at this moment are other representatives or community that do or are involved in this kind of projects. I think Felix has knowledge in this area. Okay. Yeah, but sure, we can talk more about this at the networking pizza and beer pledge day. Thank you.
Thank you.